All right. Now, I do want to cover one topic that is not necessarily tied directly to space exploration, but is certainly in the same realm. And that is the interest that it seems that the world's militaries have taken in space for a wide variety of reasons.
Hmm.
And we have heard, although I don't know that anybody outside of a few intelligence officials know the truth of this, but we have heard that there may be some advancements in, or at least attempts to advance space weapons,
Hmm.
which may include countries being able to take out each other's satellites in space.
Hmm.
Which may include space based weaponry. Now, this is a pretty dark turn, quite frankly, for what has been an extremely peaceful endeavor for
Hmm.
science. As somebody who follows this space, and you've clearly expressed your passion for what can be, and it's been a very optimistic and very positive.
Hmm.
How do you think about the implication of now militaries getting involved in this space, and how the public might shift its entire perspective of what space is from a place of wonder and peace to potentially a place of conflict?
Hmm. I will say that uh, war and military might have always been part of space. The very first rockets were developed from intercontinental ballistic missiles. So we repurposed these weapons of war in order to shoot satellites up into space instead of bombs across the world to another country. Most of the major companies in the aerospace industry also participate in the military industry. So there's been they've been in bed together the whole time, space and the military. What we've seen in recent years is a shift in the public's awareness of this, and I think a lot of that came from the initiation of Space Force in the U.S., which was basically just bringing a bunch of existing activities together under one um, management structure. So they didn't initiate development of military space capabilities. Those were already there. That was already happening. They just restructured who oversees it and what department it's in, basically. I think every single spacefaring nation has military interests wrapped up in what they're doing because, yeah, you can spy on your enemies with satellites. You don't need to make a space weapon. You can just crash a satellite into Washington D.C. or any other major city in the world. You can smash a satellite into another satellite. That'll destroy both of them. These capabilities have all been there. I think the the domain of space as like a military and again, I'm not an expert on this specifically. I know a bit about it, but I don't know all the language. But space as a military domain or arena or whatever, it's always been on people's radars. And I think it actually had a lot to do with the space race in the 50s and 60s was, the first satellite that was launched scared everybody because they thought, oh my God, now our enemies can watch us from above like never before. So I think it's always been part of it. It always will be part of it until humans become a completely peaceful civilization. But until then, there are always going to be military elements in space.